initiative between the Chamber and the County Council. And it's specifically around the concept of sustainable business and what that means for local businesses in the county. For anybody who doesn't know where the county is, you're actually in South Dublin. Lots of people assume that it's Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown and don't really understand the administrative regions, which I certainly didn't when I started working for South Dublin Chamber. So South Dublin County actually goes from Lucan to Bridis to Rathfarnham, incorporating Clondalkin and Talla and all the areas in between. So out as far as Newcastle and out up into the Dublin Mountains and then over to Lucan. So we would work very closely with Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown, Dublin City Council and Fingal as well as Kildare as well. But this initiative, I suppose, is quite a unique one between a Chamber of Commerce and a County Council. Just to put that in perspective, a Chamber of Commerce is a private organisation. It's a members' organisation that supports local businesses, but it's not directly funded or supported by the County Council or the local authority. Local authorities rarely get involved with the concept of supporting, well, they did rarely get involved, I correct myself on that, in supporting and developing local business, because prior to the local enterprise offices being part of the County Council, they were completely separate and the County Council had no remit for businesses, which was unfortunate, so there was a big disconnect. So I started in this role about 6 years ago. Prior to that, I worked for Arab Consulting Engineers. I also worked as a corporate sustainability consultant myself as well, and pitched the idea of what the programme would be about to the County Council and the Chamber. Okay, I'm going to fly through these because I don't think you need to be convinced that sustainable business is important. Why would you look about... I suppose what I'll say on these slides is this is a conversation that I have on a daily basis with different businesses. Sometimes they're very large businesses in the county, sometimes they're tiny one-man startups. But the conversation is always around that sustainability applies to all businesses, because realistically, you may have a great idea for a green business, but unless you're making money and can sustain that, then it's not really going to be a sustainable business. To that end as well, you can make a lot of money, but if you're plundering resources, or you don't connect with social, with the community or other social networks, then you're also not going to have a long-term sustainable business. So that's why, I'll come back to that. When I started the program, the way that I designed it was based on the triple bottom line principles, because it was an easy way to kind of introduce people to this concept of sustainable business and apply it to different businesses. So just to fly back, yeah, so look, lots of reasons why to keep yourself on the changing front, to make sure that your business stays relevant, lots of reasons why you'd consider this, and lots of people who actually care about sustainability, as we can see from this today. The collaboration, as I've said, between the Chamber and the County Council was very innovative and very different. It's not something, usually Chambers and County Councils are actually quite adversarial in terms of relationships. Sorry, I'm flicking backwards. But in this county there's a very collaborative working approach, which actually really supported the idea of sustainability and what that means for business as well. So that was a really nice position to come into in order to develop this programme. So what I'm going to do is just really give a flavour of the kind of elements of the programme that I work on under the different aspects of the triple bottom line. So under economic aspects, as I've said, I could be working with very small businesses on issues around tendering, on doing financial reviews, on looking at cost reduction strategies, on looking at tendering, on how to develop their business, on making connections with the local enterprise office or other supports with that. But like that, I'll always make sure that they understand that that's in connection with the other elements of their business. So whether that's around social, sometimes we'll do things in social media communications, or maybe if we're looking at cost reductions, we might look at energy reductions or energy impact. What I've found over the last 6 years, where you can appreciate that we've gone from 6 years ago when I started in this position, we were fully, deeply in recession. Businesses did not want to talk about the environment. They did not want to talk about sustainability in terms of talking about long-term sustainability of any kind of business. That just wasn't on the agenda. They wanted to get through today. So it was really focused on the economic aspects and trying to very gently bring in this concept of sustainability. We've had really great successes, I suppose, in some of the economic aspects that we've run of the programme, and I'm going to step out of screen for 2 seconds. because one of the things that I'm most proud of that we did, and I'll pass these around under the programme, is a survey of the businesses in the county. So this is an economic profile that was done in 2014 under my programme, which had never been done for any local authority, which actually means, which people don't understand, is that most local authorities do not know who's in their county. Therefore, developing supports or systems for those businesses is almost impossible, because if you don't know how many and which type or what type of businesses are there, how can you offer the right kind of services to them? Whether that's from a sustainability strategy perspective or whether that's from an economic development strategy. So this was a really important piece of work that we managed to accomplish, which wouldn't have been possible really. There's now all the councils in Dublin are now looking at doing something similar in the next year or two as well. So out of that, we surveyed, I had 3 different people working with me on it, surveying and talking to 4,500 businesses and carrying conversations with those. So if you can imagine the impact that 4,500 10-15-minute conversations with businesses has had on how we communicate in this county, how we support businesses in this county, the impact has been really, really big and really great. So look, I'll go on because we may be able to pick up on other things when I go through that. In terms of environmental aspects to the programme, I work with the Environment Department, I work with the Economic Development Department, I work with local businesses and local consultants. I work with large companies as well on CSR programs. Currently I'm working with PM Group on developing their CSR program. So we've done things like Eco Weeks, where we've allowed small businesses to show their businesses. We've done initiatives to support local entrepreneurs. We also have a Green Enterprise event coming up where we're bringing over a sustainability strategist called Jonathan T. Scott to work directly with 3 or 4 local businesses in the county to see if we can do something tangible around sustainability and efficiency processes that he works on. So we have worked with Phil Walker, I don't know if you know him through the EPA, on the EcoCerts program. We've also worked on an energy reduction program. We're currently looking at a company called Energy Elephant to see if we can do something with them. And again, all of this is being done because I suppose in my program we're in the unique position that we can understand what the local authority want to grow the business, but we also have this ongoing dialogue with 4,500 businesses in terms of what they want, how we can make them more sustainable. And it really doesn't matter what size your business is in. The only criteria is that you have to be based in this county to avail of that. What that looks like, and here's just some examples of coverage that we got for some of the things that we've done recently and locally. And then in terms of social aspects, we do a lot of stuff around social media and getting our businesses online, because ultimately that is where business is going these days. And you would think that most businesses are doing that, and they're really not. So I suppose this is very, very wide. I've been involved in groups from looking at black market issues in the county to looking at developing community supports and community initiatives. I know it sounds hugely wide, and look, that's probably one of the things that I love about the business, or the business program that I'm running, but I also try to make sure that the businesses that I work with, and particularly the local authority, understand that this fits under the remit of sustainability. And for me, that's because sustainability applies to everybody and everything, and that can be a very, very difficult concept to communicate when you start talking about this big idea of sustainability or sustainable development or sustainable business, or whatever way you want to use the word. This slide just gives some examples of things that businesses have said to me that they're looking for in terms of support. And you see, there's rarely a time that a business will say to me that they want to do something green, or they want to help the environment, or they want to help sometimes they will say they want to help their local community. For me, they rarely understand that they are a sustainable business, but once they kind of connect with that concept in whatever way is right for that particular business, then they get much more on board with that. So I suppose moving the program forward, the good news is, I suppose, that the program has become even more embedded within the local authority and the chamber. It's 6 years running. We've had commitment for at least another more 3 years. I'm constantly being approached by other local chambers and local authorities to develop something similar. In October, I was speaking at the European Parliament of Enterprises in the European Union on sustainable business and SMEs in particular, and what that means for them. And it's lovely to be able to take a very small region, a very small part of Dublin that's doing something that they started completely by themselves, in a vacuum, in a void, and show some of the successes that we've had. And I suppose what's lovely for me is it's not always tangible on a day-to-day basis what I'm achieving, but wandering around here today, I think I've bumped into at least 5 or 6 entrepreneurs or small businesses that I've directly worked with over the last few years, and that's a lovely feeling for me to know that I've done something for them, or something with them. It's really nice also that I get to go into work on a daily basis and that I'm asked by people who work on business or on economic issues or on community programs or on something that may not be connected to the environment or connected to sustainability per se, but that I'm seen as somebody approachable or somebody that's working on these areas, or and asked for my opinion or asked to consult in that area. That it's not, sustainability is no longer seen as a niche thing, I suppose, is what's really nice in this county in particular. I do hope, and I have no doubt, that other local authorities and counties will be looking to do something similar, possibly not in this vein, but even learning from the types of research that we've done. The survey that I gave you out, we've actually done 3 more surveys since then based on that information, where we hold focus groups with over 200 businesses locally. So the communication that's now happening in this county because of this sustainable business programme is something that's of benefit to everybody. Yeah, these are some recommendations. There's just the links for the 3 organisations that I work with and for, and my email address, because I don't have any business cards at the moment. So if anybody is a business that's located in this area and would like to speak to me on what mentoring or supports that might be available, or how you might be able to get in touch or involved with the programme, please feel free to contact me directly. If anybody is not a business in this area but would like to do business with me or with businesses in this area, or get involved in the local authority, or thinks that I can be of help in some way, please feel free to get in touch. And I think that's me, and I didn't even go over time. Any questions, if I can hear you? Or feel free to grab me afterwards.